Welcome to Crucial Conversations. I'm your host, KD, and I'm here with my co-host,
Motor Mouth.
Motor Mouth, how are you today?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm wonderful.
You gotta pick yourself up. You look like you're ready to drop over there. Like you done had a hard night.
It's been a rough evening. But my morning has gotten better because we have a special guest.
Yes. Well, let our special guest introduce herself.
Well, I'm Imani Ma'at, Dr. Imani Ma'at, and it is a pleasure to be here with you all today. I'm a health educator, health scientist, and worked at the Centers for Disease Control. Oops, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah,
I did. Okay. I worked at CDC for 22 years. And I worked in HIV prevention programs. I worked in chronic diseases. In fact,
That's impressive.
Thank you.
So tell me exactly how did you get started into the line of work? I mean, your schooling, your background.
Well, I went to a chain of Ivy League schools. I don't need to say the names of them, but I liked school. It was fun.
So you was a bookworm.
I was the class nerd in high school, but I had fun because I was still a cheerleader and I was in the band, and so I got to hang out with the cool people, even though I was in the A+ classes.
Right.
But I actually, my first dream was to work on city health and city social issues, problems, and community issues. So I got a master's in city planning from MIT.
MIT?
The little school up in Massachusetts.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well,
Very impressive.
I didn't stop there, and so but that was good. But while I was there, I worked mainly on health, on educational planning issues, and I actually did a review of alternative schools designed to support African American children while I was there. And so while I was there doing that research, I found myself at the Harvard Ed School Library most of the time, so I just stayed around for another year and got another master's from them.
Why am I not surprised, Motor?
Well, it just
made
sense. It just made sense. The only thing that didn't make sense is that I hate the cold, and there I am in Massachusetts for like most of my.
So I know what you mean by that cold.
I hated
they
it.
Say the hawk, when the wind blows, the hawk hits you.
I cried through every winter, and I said, when I grow up, I'm moving south, which is probably why I live in Atlanta today. So my first job out of that program that program at Harvard was working in a substance abuse clinic in New York City. And I did that for about a year. Learned a lot, but I didn't really like it. So I moved on. But after about maybe a year and a half later, the person I worked with was had developed these HIV prevention programs.
I got a question to ask you about, talking about substance abuse prevention in New York. I always wondered, which one had the worst condition, New York or Newark, New Jersey?
I don't know. I think they were probably neck and neck. They were probably, they were.
I always wonder about that.
They were both pretty bad. But the whole concept of methadone maintenance was something that didn't sit right with me, because I found that we were substituting one drug for another drug, and it just didn't work for me. As much as I knew people had good hearts and they wanted to help folks on the streets and make changes in people's lives, I just thought there was another way to do that.
Pharmaceutical company was taking the people on the street.
Well, there you go. So anyway, the person I worked with in that environment invited me to come back and run a street outreach HIV prevention program, which I liked a lot better because we were educating people, active substance abusers. My whole staff were people in recovery, so I really got an education and learned a lot and enjoyed that. And and as the AIDS epidemic was growing around us, at leaps and bounds in New York, I still had this thing in my head that I hated the cold and wanted to move south. So in my naivete, I called up the Centers for Disease Control and said, "Can I speak to the head of the AIDS program?" And they put me through. Yeah. And they said, "How fast can you get here?" Because CDC was at the point of looking at the spread of HIV among African Americans, among substance abusers, you know, and the whole package among Hispanics.
I got a question to ask you. I don't know if you can answer this or not. I'm just curious. You know how they do, different type of experiments and different things. Is Atlanta a testing ground?
Oh no, I knew he was going to go there.
I don't know.
You know, because we had a conversation. KD and I had a conversation.
We had a show based around. Have you heard about the highest? Well, they claim that one of the highest HIV records going on right now, as far as population, is in Atlanta with black women.
Right.
And it was
I know it's still a problem, but I next question. We're gonna skip over that one because
you know, this is just a big issue, you know, for black people in the city. You know, just curious. You know.
It's still a major issue, you know, and you know, that's one of the things that led me to my work with youth is that I said, you know, we can continue working with adults and trying to, because I'm a behavioral scientist, and we can continue to try to change behaviors of adults, or we can go downstream or upstream, you know, when they're throwing the babies into the water, you know, and they're coming downstream. We can go upstream and really make a difference. If we teach young people and really give them a healthy sense of self-esteem, self-confidence, belief in themselves, help them to get on their purpose in life, then we don't have to worry about changing behaviors of adults, you know. And that thought has always been an underlying.
Be adults and have good practice.
Right.
Like prevention.
Right. I mean, real prevention. Real prevention means educating and preventing the bad behaviors and stuff from even happening.
Right. Well, that makes a lot of sense, because if not, just looking at the ideal that if they're in a house or in an environment, this is all that they're getting, and they're not getting no type of support on the ground root level. Right. They're just going to continue that bad practice and don't know nothing else. You know? Right.
And
it's the norm for them.
So two things that are important in this story is that throughout my life I've been writing poetry and just sort of shoving it in the corner, or just, you know, as things occur or I'm in certain circumstances, I would write poetry about it, because that would help for me to kind of digest what I was seeing or witnessing or whatever. Times I was in South Africa, there's a beautiful poem that I wrote about this woman that I saw outside of an AIDS clinic.
Wow. But we got to put her on the spot.
What's that?
We do.
Yeah, you got to recite one of your poems for us.
Oh, well, I'll tell you the one that I was about to describe to you.
But about the follow-up to the story about the lady in South Africa.
This is a poem about the lady in South Africa on a gurney outside of an AIDS clinic.
Wow.
I just need to. Well, because the clinic, you know, probably the waiting room probably comfortably held about 20, 30 people, and there were about 150 people in there. Wow. It was about 100 degrees, and there was no room, and she was very, very frail and very, very weak, and she was laying on this gurney outside the clinic in the sun. Wow. And you know, my heart just went out to her. I was with a group of people. We were looking at HIV and TB clinics throughout South Africa, and just, you know, we were staying at a hotel, and across from the hotel was a cemetery. And we left early in the morning every morning to go out and visit these clinics, and came back in the evening, and there were always more grave sites from when we had left in the morning. Wow. Okay. Wow. And one of the clinics that we went to had signs up about one-stop shopping. You know, it's like, get everything there. You know, everything that you need. So no, it's all in the poem. So this helps to explain some of the things, some of the imagery in the poem. Okay. But anyway, this is called Tears for My Sister. And there was a time I could not get through this poem without.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
right.
so I'm okay
if
now.
I've been there.
Yeah. But anyway, it's called Tears from My Sister. She had no face, she had no name. Her arms like sticks, her legs the same. I felt her pain, though probably long gone. I felt the stain of a country war-torn. AIDS and TB in South Africa, epidemic proportions for real. Hasn't anyone told them that these preventable diseases no one should still feel? The cemetery across from our hotel expands in proportion to the growing epidemic. Outside the clinic, a sign reads, "One-stop funeral shopping." How convenient. Had only the treatment for AIDS and TB been as convenient, had only the doctors been plentiful, and the natural herb of South Africa, Sutherlandia, not been pirated and sold to countries other than the one from which it originated. The babies cry, the mommies and daddies die, the grandmothers try to take on the weight. Aunties also do what they can to keep nieces and nephews alive. How I wanted to reach out to her and give her some hope, yet her spirit was already somewhere else. Her joy was gone, her hope was gone, her pain was gone. She just was. Too weak to stand, too weak to hurt, too weak to cry, too weak to die. In my heart, I hope that she has passed on, as that is no way to live.
That's nice.
Oh.
And, I mean, I could feel you, your actual experience, That would be something really to witness,
Yeah, it was.
That's a serious battleground.
That's nice.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and in so many ways, politically. We met with, there was a natural healer, Dr. Credo, well, I call him Dr. Baba Credo Mutua.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a traditional healer. He's just a phenomenal person, and I've had a chance to sit at his knees twice in South Africa and just let him tell his story about the work that they had done in South Africa, and he talked with us about the herb Sutherlandia and how they had discovered that it had properties to help people, and not necessarily Sutherlandia.
Okay.
And it not necessarily to heal, but it helped so many people in terms of the symptoms of HIV and AIDS. And maybe it did heal. Who am I to say that it didn't?
Right.
But he talked about the attack on his family. I think his wife had been operated on, and they intentionally left something inside of her, an instrument, and it killed her.
Okay.
I think he talked about his son being murdered because they were having so much success in terms of working with people with HIV, and specifically with that herb. He talked about how it was pirated from them and taken to other countries in Asia and Southern Asia to help people there with HIV and AIDS.
Did they make it illegal for them to use it? Because I know in some of the indigenous country, how there was a big lawsuit going on from the way they have come in and took their medicine or their herbs.
Yeah, I don't know if they made that particular one illegal, but they took it. So they took it out. They didn't manufacture it in South Africa to help South African people. It was more profitable for them to sell it for millions of dollars to people with money in other countries. So
I know, like speaking about that, like what you're saying, the pharmaceutical companies and everything. The Acai is a good example of that. How they have made it, they outlawed it where the people. Oh,
acai. Okay.
And they outlawed it where they could not use it no longer. And they had in world court, they was trying to sue the pharmaceutical companies from like the United States over in Europe and everything for coming in there and patenting what they've been doing for centuries. Yeah,
it's just a shame what happens to poor people globally. It's like those with money and those with resources, they take and take and take to the detriment, of indigenous people and people who discover something like an herb that works effectively you know, on HIV and AIDS. I had, on a previous trip to that in South Africa, had a chance to meet with some other traditional healers, and it's just amazing, you know, what they did. I mean, they would throw these bones, and they would know by how the bones felt, how they laid, how they landed, whether someone had HIV or not.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like there was no question. I mean, this was their science.
Wow.
You know, and there was no question to it. And since then, I've met medical doctors from the U.S. who've gone and been trained by them, and who work with the traditional healers, because, you know, who are we to go into an area and say that people don't know what they're doing? And you have the masses who rely on these traditional healers for everything.
I know, I ran into a couple of my days in time, a couple of Jafaris, and they have been fascinating, you know.
Amazing.
Medicine, you know, what they can do.
What they do with the plants. I mean, they're botanists, you know, they're herbalists, botanists, and they know exactly how to live with nature, how to use nature to heal everything. And there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Well, I got a question to ask you, you know, speaking about South Africa. I was just curious. Now, is the Doggone tribe from South Africa, part of South Africa? Or are you familiar with the Doggone?
I want to say they're from West Africa, but don't quote me on that, because I don't know.
But you know about
But I know about the Doggone.
Okay. Share a little bit about that, you know, their history, you know, because also, like you were saying, science. Okay, you know. But yeah, I gotta say what they do, you know, the science and everything, you know, and everything. But getting back to the point of something that you said earlier that was interesting, you talked about the children, because KD and I also work with, you know, youth. You know.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Yes for Health.
Okay.
And how that was.
But I still like to have her back. I would love to hear more about South Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I would love to share it, because it has.
Meanwhile, what are you doing now? I mean, what's going on with you?
Even while I was at CDC, you know, and I had this passion to work with youth and to go upstream, you know, like I said, I was really interested in it. I had seen how theater had been used to educate young people about HIV and AIDS and other things, and I said, you know, I think that's what I want to be when I grow up. I want to have a theater program. I want to have kids performing and dancing on pianos and, you know, telling stories about about health issues, including HIV, that will empower themselves as health educators, and also empower the children who are listening to them, to their audiences. And I was introduced to a brother, Mr. Gary Ogden, who was born on the same day as me, 2 years earlier. But we both had the same dream of starting a teen theater program, so we did. Yes for Health, and he's a brilliant attorney. We got our 501c3 on one try. He just filled out the paperwork. We got it, and we did a major production on, and there's a lot more to that story, but we did a major production on diabetes called Drive Through Justice, which is like our signature play. We still get asked for that play to this day. Had a lot of really good, it's all educational, but there's comedy in it, there's music, there's dancing, there's a funeral scene, because one of the main characters dies of complications of diabetes. Powerful.
Teaching through entertainment.
Absolutely.
I like
edutainment. And we're not the first ones to edutainment. We're not the first ones to use that, though. There's a group called Me Productions out of Philadelphia that's been used in that. They're really, really good at what they do. But we did HIV. We did the diabetes play. We did a wonderful HIV production. Had one student who created a dance, you know, depicting a young girl who found out that her boyfriend in high school was HIV positive, and but it's all educational about how we.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. So we've had probably over 300 youth that have come through Yes for Health, whether they stayed for a week or a month or a semester or a year. The problem with us is that we've always gotten the cream of the crop students who are doing 10 other things.
Exactly.
They're in all the sports programs, right. They're in music, they're in this, they're in that, they're with their churches.
Right.
So, we're like begging for them to make us a priority. But in spite of that, we've had some really good successes. We've had kids move on. We had one that was in an episode of a Tyler Perry show.
Okay.
We have one young man who graduated. He's about 14, and I think he's a junior at Morehouse College right now. He was brilliant before he came to us, but I've heard him speak about Yes for Health and how it helped to give him voice,
right?
And how he was real quiet and shy before he got with us, and we made him get up on stage.
Gave him confidence.
Open him up.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We've had kids get into college just because we wrote recommendations based on the growth that we saw in them.
Exactly.
We took youth to the
next level.
To the next level. But I was going to say specifically, we took a group of youth to Anguilla in the British West Indies on a health study tour a couple summers ago.
Yeah, I remember that. I was supposed to do the video production.
That's when I met you. That's right. That's right.
I remember that one.
That's right. Never too late. It's not too late.
See,
it's not too late. No, but we've
awesome. I like the program.
We've had, we've done a lot of volunteer work in the community, Meals on Wheels type programs, volunteer things, because we wanted the young people, we wanted to instill a sense of community and giving back and helping out and being connected to the whole.
I know you're tight on your time, and we got to ask you back. But before you leave, share a little bit about this bullying initiative that you got going on, exactly what you plan on doing with that inside, Atlanta market that might be able to be shared. You say you're going to take that across the country?
Nationwide, probably international by the time we get finished, because I have friends around the globe at this point. But first of all, the second phase of Yes for Health that we started is called the Healthy Haiku series. And I've written 2 books. One is a mentoring program, a mentoring training that teaches mentors how to teach healthy haiku. Haiku is an ancient form of Japanese poetry. It uses 17 syllables to tell a story very concisely. And we use it to talk about health issues. Here's one off the top of my head about 2 friends who get into a dispute. And when he pulled back his fist, he stared at the lifeless face of his best friend. And that was 17 syllables, believe it or not. But
it had a major impact.
You think about it, and I remember after writing that, maybe 2 or 3 months later, I saw that same story on the 6 o'clock news about 2 kids who got they were best friends, and the guy hit him in the temple, and that was it. But we teach. Through this series, we do workshops. We go out to schools and churches and so forth to teach about health issues, full curriculum with HIV, substance abuse, alcoholism, violence, mental health issues. But all of it is about self-esteem and building self-esteem. So
this is nice.
Yeah, the youth of today really need that.
Yeah, I know you have something about obesity, because I'm thinking
obesity,
about
nutrition,
her
absolutely.
Obesity program.
Thank you for mentioning that. That is important.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so
education is in here. Everything: smoking, drinking, drug use, building self-esteem. This is
all of that. Thank you so much. And so we're, the next level of the Healthy Haiku workshops. We're looking at doing what we're calling power clubs in schools around Atlanta and around the country, with the point of, again, building self-esteem and really doing away with bullying. I mean, it's a lofty goal, but if we have kids engaged, in something positive, and it's the club that's getting all of the attention, we got celebrities coming in to encourage them and to talk to them and to motivate them. We have them performing, we have them getting scholarships and all kind of fun things. The bullies are going to want to be part of the club too.
Right. Exactly.
It's like we want to be part of that too, as opposed to kids joining bully clubs just to be protected.
Exactly.
Right.
That's kind of like reverse psychology.
Absolutely.
Because,
Absolutely.
One of the things in bullying like an emotional bullying, is either how groups of children to get together and then alienate one of the, the child.
Right.
Bullying, yeah, right. So,
right.
Yeah,
so
that's really nice.
The concept is taking the nerds, and making them the in crowd, and making people want to be friends with them.
Really suffer from emotional bullying, right?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. There's cyberbullying, which is taking place on the computers and texting and the phone and all of that. So there's so many different forms in addition to being punched and kicked on and
the physical
stuff. So
and one of the biggest things is verbal.
Right.
Even a lot of parents is guilty of that just from the way they speak to their children.
Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can break my heart. Yeah. They really do. They really do. So we're going to be addressing all of that. We're so excited, and we're going to use a internet radio platform to basically chronicle the development of these of the power clubs, the Yes Power Clubs. So we're this is a new phase for us. We're very, very excited. We look forward to coming back and speaking with you again, maybe bringing some of the youth with us.
I look forward to having you back, because this, especially with the idea that you're going to take this on a national level, I really like this program, and it's needed.
Oh, absolutely.
And along the line of bullying, there's so much that's going on now. I don't want to say the recent thing is, but the most popular thing that I've noticed in the media lately has been people that have been bullied because of their sexuality.
Absolutely.
Which we know is another problem. We have so many problems now with children. It's really ridiculous. But a lot of kids have actually been committing suicide.
Oh, I know.
Been being bullied.
I know.
Cyberbullied, bullied in school. It's just really out of control.
All of that stuff. So it is so needed, and we want to get a lot of attention. We want the media to be on this. We want celebrities to be on this. We want to be that magnet that pulls everyone in that wants to do something good. This is a phenomenal opportunity to do something good.
Well, I know we feel blessed that you're going to be part of the DNA family.
Good. So thank you.
We're put the plug in there. Exactly. You get a chance to meet Dr.
Because she's coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back on our show, Crucial Conversation. But plus, she's also going to hold her own show on the DNA Media Communication on the network.
All right.
Yeah, we look forward to it. So y'all going to have a real treat there.
Yeah, we're so excited.
To get the word out, because this is an awesome program.
Thank you so much.
It's really needed.
Thank you, KD.
We really appreciate you coming in, stopping today. I know you didn't have no idea of doing the interview.
I didn't, but I've
had to put you on the spot.
I've learned to be prepared even when I'm not prepared. But thank you so much for this. I look forward to it.
And we appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
If you guys have any questions or comments or suggestions for our special guest, Dr. Imani Mati. Am I saying your last name right?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My aunt. You were close.
I had MIT in my mind. I was still stuck on
MIT and my aunt just kind of blended together. That was a good save.
Dr. Imani.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
But anyway, we appreciate you stopping by, and we will have you back. I'd love to have you back.
All right. I look forward to it. Exactly. I do look forward to it. Thanks so much.
And we'll be back after these messages. Talk to you soon.
You're tuned to Thomasville, North Carolina's best gospel, WEOM 103.1 FM.